Hi, Miles Jackson, CEO of Cole Clark Guitars. I'm here today to talk to you about the new Little Lady, Cole Clark Little Lady. So it's a bit of a journey we've taken on this instrument. So it's worth going through how it sort of came into being. Probably starts 2014 Frankfurt Messe music show, where I walked around the show having a break from our stand and stood opposite a few of our really fine competitors and noticed that, while they're quite innovative companies, they have the same traditional shapes that we've seen for the last 100 years. And these are fine shapes, but they're the same shapes. I then came back to our stand and had a good look and sort of thought, well, we're a very innovative company. We've got, neck through Spanish heels, we've got carved tops, we've got a totally innovative pickup. It's probably the world's best pickup, and it's a very, very, very advanced technologically guitar. But they're the same shapes as those traditional shapes that have been around for 100 years or so. So I sort of thought, well, at some point we want to do an original shape. So we'll park that information over here. And then we fast forward to, we're sitting down looking at this genre of guitar, which is a 23.5-inch scale. So it's a shorter scale than normal. So a normal fat lady or little lady for us is a 25.5-inch scale. And the other famous normal scale length would be 24.75-inch scale. So this 23.5-inch scale has got a lot of different models in it. It's really become a thing. It's very comfortable to play. It's short enough to get on an aeroplane, depending on your country and depending on the rules of your airline. So you can get these in the overhead locker as a travel guitar, and it's a good thing for throwing over the back of your shoulder and going and doing a gig with. So we looked at this and said, well, most of our competition is actually trying to get the smallest guitar possible, and in doing that, so there's lots of guitars already doing that. So we sort of thought, well, let's go the other way and let's make it a much bigger body. Let's go for the biggest body possible, and we'll make it a much louder instrument, make it all solid, professional instrument with the world's best pickup in it. You can happily play a stadium with this guitar. It's a really advanced, great sounding professional guitar. It's also bigger, so it's louder, more bottom end. It's got because it's bigger, I can play it and I can strum it normally. I'm strumming from this part of my arm, so it's a normal way of playing a guitar. It's not like this little guitar where you're kind of resting your wrist on the actual guitar. So it ergonomically makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's a very as I say, so it's a big guitar. Like all of our other guitars, it's been plecked, the same setup, the same quality timbers. So the timbers we're using on them are, the faces are either redwoods, bunyas, blackwoods, backs and sides Australian blackwood, or Queensland maple, rosewood. We do in the 2 Series as well, in the higher end. With the new CITES rules, the rosewood's actually very expensive and can't go to every country, but there it is. The fingerboards are blackbean, and which is sustainable Australian timber. The rosewood back and side one has a rosewood fingerboard. So it also comes in a 1 and 2 series. This is a 1 series. It's got dot inlays. It's got chrome machine heads instead of gold. It's got no binding, so the 2 Series has got binding. This has got a 2-way pickup, so it's got a face sensor, a piezo system, and they blend together, and then we've got a contour for a tonal adjustment as well. The 3-way system has got a microphone that you add to the face sensor and the piezo. So it's the same control panel as our previous pickup, but this is a digital version of that pickup. So the digital version allows us to EQ it differently for each size guitar. Because we have a phase sensor, it's actually picking up the sound of that guitar, whereas normally a pickup will be picking up the vibration of the strings, and you can kind of put that pickup on any guitar and it'll sound about the same. Whereas ours, because it's got a phase sensor and in the three-way a microphone in the extreme high, it is picking up the sound of that guitar. So we want to be able to EQ it differently for a small body guitar than a mid body guitar or a large body guitar. So we can even go down the track of saying let's EQ it for a redwood top or a bunya top or a blackwood top. So in doing that, we've been made sure that we've kept a really easy to use professional interface here without windows that you've got to scroll through. Put your left leg over your right shoulder on a full moon and push this button, you can get this sound. We don't want to do that stuff. We just want to make it really easy. So we've got a USB control here, USB output, so we can edit it from a computer program. We've got the controls are got from here. So if I push this button here quickly, we get a mute. So if I've got a tuner on and I want to do a quick tune up, I can mute the sound just by pushing that on stage, and which is very handy. Or if I want to put my guitar down, I can mute it. If I hold it down for 2 seconds, this light will flash twice to put it onto the user sound. If I hold it down for 2 seconds again, it'll flash back once to go onto the factory sound. So it's got two sounds, one that you can't change, which is the factory sound, and the other sound is a user sound that you can edit with the program, with the software that we provide. So that's how the digital preamp works, and it's the first and only one in the world that actually allows you to program your own sounds on it. It gives you a new starting point to start all your EQ and face blend and all of that from. So that's the little lady. Get into a shop, have a play. I think you'll be blown away.